Hello and good day. Welcome to our video channel, God's Promises. And today's video will be a fast, concise overview, Book of 1 Kings, chapter 11. Let's get started now. The book of 1 Kings chapter 11 tells the story of King Solomon's downfall due to his many wives and their foreign gods. In this chapter, we see how Solomon's heart was turned away from the Lord, resulting in God's anger towards him. Solomon had many wives, including foreign women from Moab, Ammon, Edom, Sidon, and the Hittites, which were all nations that God had warned Israel not to marry into. These women turned Solomon's heart away from the Lord, and he began to worship their gods. The chapter starts with the introduction of a woman from Ammon named Naamah, who bore Solomon a son named Rehoboam. The chapter then goes on to describe how Solomon loved many foreign women, including Pharaoh's daughter, and how he built temples for their gods. God had warned Solomon that if he and his descendants turned away from the Lord, they would face severe consequences. Sadly, Solomon did not heed God's warning, and he continued to follow after foreign gods. As a result, God raised up adversaries against Solomon, including Hadad the Edomite and Rezon, the son of Eliada. These men became thorns in Solomon's side and worked against him throughout his reign. God also raised up Jeroboam, a man from the tribe of Ephraim, to be Solomon's servant. Jeroboam was a mighty man of valor, and Solomon put him in charge of the labor force of the house of Joseph. However, Jeroboam rebelled against Solomon, and God promised to give him 10 of the 12 tribes of Israel to rule over. In the latter part of the chapter, we see how Solomon died and was succeeded by his son Rehoboam. The kingdom was then divided between Rehoboam and Jeroboam, as God had promised. The teaching application of this chapter is that we must guard our hearts and be careful not to turn away from the Lord. Solomon's downfall was due to his many wives and his love for their foreign gods. We must be careful not to allow anything to take the place of God in our hearts. We must also heed God's warnings and follow his commands. God had warned Solomon that he would face severe consequences if he turned away from the Lord, but Solomon did not listen. We must learn from Solomon's mistake and always be obedient to God's commands. Furthermore, this chapter reminds us that God is a just God who punishes sin. Solomon's sin resulted in God's anger towards him, and he faced the consequences of his actions. We must remember that our sin also has consequences and that we will be held accountable for our actions. In conclusion, 1 Kings chapter 11 is a powerful reminder of the importance of guarding our hearts and following God's commands. We must be careful not to allow anything to take the place of God in our lives and always be obedient to his will. Thank you for visiting us today. Please share with us your favorite Bible chapter below in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help our channel grow. Looking forward to see you back here for our next video. Always take good care.